everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie, and today we are talking all things Bookcon because I'm bringing you Katie's Declassified Bookcon Survival Guide. That was super cheesy. Last year was my first ever year that I went to Bookcon, and it was so much fun. Like, I cannot express how much I enjoyed it and how excited I am for this year. Like, I'm so excited. And as like a first-time Bookcon goer, I watched a lot of survival guide videos beforehand, and now I feel like I have something to contribute because I've been there before. And last year when I went to Bookcon, I was not really involved in the booktube community. I didn't have my channel. I think going to Bookcon is actually the push that made me make my channel, just because I saw how cool the bookish community is. But I definitely learned a lot from my experiences there. I went with two of my best friends and we just had an absolute blast. But that being said, Bookcon is crazy and it does involve some planning. So I want to make sure that you have all of the tips and tricks that you need to completely maximize and optimize your Bookcon experience if you are going. So first things first, what you should do before you even arrive at Bookcon. So plan ahead, plan ahead, plan ahead. It will make your day so much easier if you have some semblance of an idea of what is happening. There are some people that offer spreadsheets online, and I believe there is someone that is selling a comprehensive spreadsheet of everything that's going on. She's compiling all the data. I will leave a tweet with information to her spreadsheet, which I used last year and I'm using this year to kind of like compile my own spreadsheet. And she pulls from all these different publishers and stuff like that to make this master list. And then what I do from there is I go on and I make my own Excel spreadsheet with the times for everything and different categories. I'll put a little like screen cap on here and saying like at what time what event is happening. And the only thing that I'm putting on my own personal spreadsheet are the things that I know that I'm interested in. And this is probably, I'm going to, on the day of, print it out and bring it with me so I have it in my bag for reference. And then this other master spreadsheet I'll probably just have up on Google Sheets on my phone. But this way, this is for me, it can be very overwhelming because there are so many booths and stuff there that just having some sketch of the events that I want to hit that day laid out, that doesn't mean I have to go to every single thing that's on there. I mean, it kind of is just up in the air when you get there, but at least I have some sort of clue of what I want to do. Now, besides that spreadsheet, the other places that you can get information are from the publishers themselves. So there is a Twitter list of all the publishers that are going to be at Bookcon, and I am going to link that as well, and that's really helpful because then they will post their schedules on their Twitters, and then you can go from there and see each publisher's individual schedule. But that should also be in the compiled spreadsheet as well, but just to have more than one source from where you are pulling your information, it's always helpful. And then on the day of, using that Twitter list, you will be able to see what the publishers are tweeting on the spot at these events. And sometimes they will like do something surprise or like give you a password that you need to get some sort of free item on their Twitters. So it's always a good idea to just have that up on your phone and checking it throughout the day. The next thing that you can do is download the Bookcon app. I actually used this so much last year and it was so helpful, but they've actually updated it a lot since last year, so it's pretty great. But you can go on here and you can look at the different appearances, autographing and events and stuff like that, and then you can create your own My Bookcon schedule, which I have here all of the events that I am interested in for things that I said I was interested in. And this is also what I put on my spreadsheet, but it's also kind of nice to have it on the app because then if I forgot to put a location or something like that, I can see it here. And from this map, you'll be able to see what the show floor looks like, and it's just going to be so helpful on the day of. And I would almost even try and print out this map if you can, or like look on your schedule and see where the booths that you want to go to the most are and like circle them on the map just so you have some idea walking into the convention center what you are going to be looking for. The next thing is to make sure that you have transportation to and from the Javits Center set. I know that mostly everyone probably has their flights and hotel booked already, but it's really important to know that parking is a complete nightmare in New York City. You probably do not want to bring in a car and park. I don't know any information about parking garages, but there probably are parking garages around, but like they are going to be expensive, so just be aware of that. And the best thing is to take the subway or walk in from wherever you are staying, or Ubering. Uber is great in the city. It's just you need to have a plan of how to get there. The next step is what to pack. This is key. So what I did is I had a backpack and a suitcase. And my suitcase, I had every single book that I was bringing, and I definitely had room for more books. And then in my backpack is what I was carrying around at the moment. So those are things that like I will need throughout the day. So I had the books that were coming up for the signings that I was about to attend, and water, important, snacks, definitely important, a portable charger, super important because there's going to be nowhere to charge your phone, and your phone will die because it's going to be sucking up signal all day, and you'll probably be checking your phone incessantly, and you know you want to be able to make sure you have signal at the end of the day so that you can call an Uber to go home, or just like have a map to find your way around New York City. Also, if you are vlogging and you're bringing your camera, just make sure that your memory card has a lot of space on it and that your camera is fully charged. You probably won't have anywhere to sit and charge your camera at all, but just make sure that, you know, you have it juiced up for the day and ready to go for as long as possible. But honestly, I was so busy last year, and also didn't really have a booktube, so I wasn't vlogging, but like I didn't pull out my camera a lot, but it was just good to have it in case I wanted it. But honestly, your phone probably works well for a lot of things too, so it's just up to you if you are going to be doing some sort of vlogging or anything, recording your experience there, to make sure that everything is powered up for the day and it doesn't die and you don't run out of space, because that would just be so upsetting. And now, what to wear. I've seen like a multitude of different outfits. I would say wear whatever you will be comfortable in, and please, please wear comfortable shoes. My feet hurt so bad at the end of last year and I was wearing comfortable shoes. You're just on your feet all day, online, walking around. I would say just go for a cute but comfortable outfit, and make sure that the footwear that you wear is also cute but very comfortable, because otherwise you will be in pain. Like, I can't imagine wearing something that like wasn't Sperry's or sneakers last year. Like, I just would have been in way much more pain than I already was, because you are on your feet constantly, and you're going to be sitting in line a lot, standing around. Like, you don't want to be wearing something that you will feel uncomfortable in. So like for me, I'm probably going to wear a romper because that is like a little bit more comfortable than a dress, but it's still cute. And my next outfit tip is to wear some sort of like jacket or denim jacket on the outside, because you will get so many pins, and it's so much fun just like putting pins on throughout the day, and at the end of the day having like a jacket full of pins. I thought that that was so fun, and last year I didn't even wear a denim jacket for that purpose. I just had a denim jacket. In terms of like what length of something to wear, last year the first day I thought it was going to be so cold, so I wore leggings and a long sleeve shirt and a jacket, and I ended up being really hot because you are walking around a lot. And then the second day I wore shorts and a shirt with a jacket over it, and then that way I could take the jacket on and off whether I got hot or cold, and that worked a lot better for regulating my temperature. So it could be hot out, but like it is going to be cold inside the jobbets, but you also will get hot walking around. So kind of based on how you know you handle temperatures, plan accordingly. So the next tip is when to arrive. Now, if you watch older videos of booktubers giving their Bookcon survival tips, you will hear some of them say to get there as early as 3:30 a.m. and there is absolutely no need to do that anymore. The reason it was like that before is because they used to do the autographing tickets in person instead of online, so you'd have to get there early in order to get the authors that you want. But now that is all handled online, and I'm not really going to be covering that because that's already done. But that being said, there are some events that take place exactly at 10 a.m. You can get a lot of tickets for in-booth signings at 10 a.m. So like people will get there early enough that they can be the first ones in and get these tickets for these in-booth signings. If that's something you're interested in, you probably will want to get there a little bit earlier, or if not, you probably don't have to get there so super early. There are a lot of people just lined up in the beginning that are waiting to go in, but if you don't have something exactly at 10 a.m. that you want to rush in for, I would say don't stress about getting there too early, because you will probably get through the door by 10:15 anyways. It's just that first mad dash of people that are like going to get to whatever booth they want to be at first to get the stuff. And if you're someone that doesn't do well in crowds that are like rushing, it might be best to just like hang back until the mad dash at the beginning is over, because it can be overwhelming. I'm finding crowds and I was completely overwhelmed. I didn't know which way I was going. I didn't know left from right, and there were just so many people, and we like had a few things we wanted to check out at 10, and then everything had a long line. So, you know, lessons learned. The next thing I would say for each time slot, if there are multiple things with lines, that you want to hit. Just kind of like pick one and stick with the line, because the line will be long no matter where you go. So you just kind of have to decide which one is going to be the best and then stick with that for that time period, stay on the line. Otherwise, you will do what I did and wander from line to line, and each line is getting longer as you leave one and wander to the next. So don't do that. So now you have arrived at Bookcon and you are in the door. And like I said before, I said bring a backpack and a suitcase. And the reason for that is that you can check your suitcase. You go into the main doors of the Javits and you bang a left and you go down the stairs, and there is an area to check your suitcase. And this is so super helpful, because what I did is I just went back and forth each day. I think it's only like $2 to check a suitcase or something like that, and throughout the day I would just go back. It gets really heavy carrying around a lot of books, so I would take the books that I needed out of the suitcase and put the ones that I didn't need anymore back in the suitcase, and that just saved my back throughout the day. Also, you will get so many free tote bags, but I really recommend not relying on those tote bags and using a backpack instead, because just carrying around the heavy weight of books on one shoulder all day is really not good for your back, and it will make you sore and regret everything by the end of the day. Like, just using a backpack where you can evenly distribute the weight on your back is the ergonomic way to go. And then you can just, you know, I would have my backpack and then use the free tote bags for like other little freebies that I just wanted to like throw in my bag, but it wasn't that heavy. A day like this where it's just super long and you're constantly on the move and you constantly are carrying weight because books are heavy, you really just want to be aware of trying to minimize the risks that you will like get some sort of soreness or injury. That's just being realistic. The next thing is the food situation. So there are 2 Starbucks inside of the Javits, so just be aware you can get Starbucks, your morning coffee, which I will definitely need if I'm going to be there early, which I probably won't be there too early, but like still need coffee. You can get your morning Starbucks, but there probably will be a line because everyone needs their morning Starbucks. And then they do have food there, but it's like overpriced stadium food like you get at a baseball game, like chicken nuggets and hamburgers and stuff, which is fine, but that's probably not really what I'm going to want to eat. You can Uber Eats food to the place, which is probably what I will end up doing, because I just don't want to pay a lot. If I'm going to pay a lot of money, I might as well Uber Eats in something that I wanted to eat, and it's New York City, so there's plenty of food options around. I haven't actually looked into the specific food options around the Javits, but like knowing that you can just like order it to wherever you are is a lot better than having to leave and go walk around and find it. And I will be packing lots of snacks. I'm a snacker. I need my snacks when, you know, I start feeling like my blood sugar is dropping and I'm getting woozy and I get very cranky. Need my snacks to keep me happy. So the different types of events that you will have at Bookcon, I'm just gonna go through each one a little bit and what to expect. So the first one is the author signings, and these are the ones that you have to get the tickets for beforehand online, which has already happened. They're included with your ticket, but you have to get the specific author that you want. I would say show up early to the signings. I know that Bookcon is probably not letting people line up so super early for signings, but like sometimes if you are in the front of the line, you can get more freebies, stuff like that. You will have to purchase a book most of the time for the signings, but if you go online to the autographing page and you click more details on the authors, it will tell you if a book purchase is required and how many items you can bring from home. I will of course link this info page in the description below, and they will also say like what books are for sale, and that way you can kind of plan ahead for the signings that you are going to. If you have friends going to Bookcon and you are kind of spread out throughout different authors, what I did with my friends last year is we just got each other's books signed for the authors that we could not make it to but the other person was going to. It's really nice if you have a group of friends that you can kind of coordinate who gets what signed. If you have cool friends, I think that's a fun idea, and that's how I kind of maximize the amount of books that I got signed. The next key little cheat to know is that the people at Bookcon will let you on the signing lines for the authors if it is before the end of their allotted time and there is no line left. So that's how I met Marissa Meyer last year. I didn't have a ticket to her, but I think this is more likely to happen Sunday afternoon because people start leaving. If you just see that there is an author with no line and you know it's like well before the end of that autographing time period, you can just go up to the person at the line and say, hey, can I get on line, meet this author? There is no line, and they will just let you in if you just ask nicely, which is a pretty cool tip. So sometimes you can meet other authors that way because the author has to sit there for that time period anyway, so they might as well just let you go in and buy a book and meet the author. So it's a fun little tip. That being said, Sunday afternoon I found was the best time to walk around and get the rest of the freebies that people were mobbing for before, and everyone has kind of left by that time. So you can kind of get more. That's like how I got my Queen of Air and Darkness sampler. Like, people were mobbing for that all weekend, and then at the end of Sunday afternoon, they just had a bunch left over on the table. So, you know, it's the end of Bookcon and people are just trying to get rid of all the things that they have that they brought and they weren't able to give away. So you can kind of just go around in that time period and grab things off all the tables, all the leftover freebies. It's great. The next kind of event are in-booth signings. So for those, you will find the information on that on each individual publisher's thing of schedule of their booth, and that is another way to meet authors. So you just kind of have to go by publisher and see, and again, those spreadsheets I mentioned before should have that information on there, and you will see more information as schedules dropped. Not every publisher has a schedule dropped yet. They really, for Bookcon, drop their schedules in like this week and the next week leading up to Bookcon. So you kind of have to keep checking back every day for something new and continually updating your own personal spreadsheet. The next thing is ARC drops, which I'm sure that people really want to get ARCs. People love ARCs. ARC stands for Advanced Reader Copies. And again, you have to go and look on the individual publisher schedule to say when they are giving away ARCs and what ARCs they are giving away at what time to determine if it is worth it to stand on the insane line. People love ARCs and people will go crazy for ARCs. So just be aware, if you are on a line for a very popular ARC drop, there may be bloodshed. It will be crazy. Last year, me and my friends didn't even try to get ARCs because it was just like too intense for us. Like, just know the book will come out eventually. It's okay if you don't get an ARC going to Bookcon. It's fine. I ended up with a City of Ghosts by Victoria Schwab ARC because she was signing all these ARCs on like a Sunday afternoon, and her line was just going so quick that it was okay to hop on it. But we had been on the Owl Crate line before for the Victoria Schwab City of Ghosts ARC drop, and that was just chaos, and we ended up, you know, they ended up running out of copies. So we went to the Victoria Schwab line and it was completely fine. So that's just how it goes sometime. But yeah, if it is a coveted ARC, people will go crazy, and for me, you just have to determine if it's worth it or not to put yourself through that kind of stress. And also just be aware is that people will start lining up for things super early, but they do not want you to line up that early. So there will be some confusion. So the next thing besides ARC drops and in-booth signings is there's just a lot of giveaways and freebies and different events going on. So there's panels, which are all listed on the Bookcon website. Last year I actually didn't end up going to any panels, but this year I definitely want to try and go to a few, and those are just, you can simply see where they are and who is speaking, what the topic is, and fit that into your schedule that way. And I would say probably get there a little bit early if you want to see. And then the next thing is just walking around the floor and seeing what there is, because there's just a lot of random things, booths of companies you maybe haven't heard of before that are giving away free stuff. There's just swag everywhere. You will get a lot of free things going to Bookcon, and it's honestly a blast getting all of these little bookish items. I had so much fun last year just like going around and grabbing the freebies on all the tables. The last thing to remember is that everyone is there to have fun, so please be kind to one another. I know that it can get crazy and hectic, and just please be aware of other people's personal space and just how crazy it can get, and you know, just everyone please be nice to one another because it can be a very stressful yet fun environment. Alright, so I'm really looking forward to Bookcon. Please let me know down below if you are going to Bookcon. With that being said, I'm super excited for Bookcon. I'm super excited to meet everyone. I think it's going to be a very interesting experience compared to last year where like I didn't know anyone in the book community, and now I know a lot of people and I'm going to be meeting a lot of people. I'm just really excited. I'm really looking forward to it. And yeah, I hope that my little survival guide helped clear up a few things. And if you have any other questions about the Bookcon experience and my own personal experience at Bookcon, please let me know down below and I'd be happy to help and have some fun, read some books, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.